there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're watching this on YouTube or maybe you're watching this on social media because I posted it on there, welcome to my videos. Please check out my other videos. It's great to know people watch them, and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see all my videos come up on your YouTube account. A lot of people ask me questions about my life, about my work, about so many different things. So I'm trying to make videos that, answer some of those questions. One of those questions is, what is an MBE and what was your investiture like? So to start off with, I received an MBE, or was made member of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire by the Queen in 2016, which was presented to me by Prince Charles at an investiture in Buckingham Palace. I received my MBE for my work, so my volunteering, my advocacy, my campaigning, speaking, so on and so forth. I received it at the age of 22, which is quite young to receive such an honour. I'm truly humbled that I received that, and I still, 3-4 years on, cannot believe that I received an MBE. But there is a whole honours system that has lots of different levels. So, for example, we hear a lot in the news about knights and dames, so knighthoods and damehoods, especially when they're bestowed upon a celebrity. But there are lots of different levels within the honours system and lots of different categories. There's the civilian division, the military division. There's so many different aspects to it, and I can't even begin to explain it all to you today. But an MBE is a member of the Order of the British Empire, and it's the second lowest in that category. So below the MBE is a British Empire Medal, or BEM, which is awarded for local campaigning or services to a particular organisation. An MBE is awarded to people that have made a significant contribution locally, regionally or nationally. There's the OBE, which is again a national or very big local service. Then you've got the CBE, the Knighthood and the Damehood, and the Knight Grand Cross and Dame Grand Cross. And then you've got things like the Companion of the Honour, the Order of Merit, the Order of the Garter, and so many other aspects to this honours system that are bestowed upon different people for different reasons at different times. So yes, one thing that people often ask, can you refuse an honour from the Queen or from the royal system? And actually the answer is yes. Stephen Hawking was one person. He refused a knighthood, but he would later agree to be invested in the Companion of Honour category. John Lennon famously gave back his MBE. That's another common one. Another person who turned down an honour was David Bowie. He turned down an honour in the honour system. So you can actually say no, and people do say no, but I was absolutely amazed to have been considered and considered worthy of such an award, so I accepted my MBE. So I was told in November 2015 that I was going to receive it. I received a letter in the post saying if I would accept it, that I would be put forward to the Queen to receive an MBE, and I agreed to that. I then had to keep it under a strict embargo, which was really hard, trying not to tell anyone and not let it slip. Then on the 30th of December 2015, it was announced in the Gazette that I was receiving an MBE, and they announced the honours twice a year. So you have the New Year's honours, which is when I received mine. So mine was the New Year's honours 2016. They also have the birthday honours in June. So that's twice a year that these honours are announced. But the fact is, you can nominate any time of the year. When you nominate someone, you have to nominate them. You have to be someone who knows a lot about their work. You then have to have 2 people to also provide statements or letters of evidence to go along with that nomination. You cannot tell the person that you're nominating them. That has to be kept confidential. And the fact is, it can take a year, 18 months, 2 years before they might receive an honour from your nomination, or they might not receive an honour at that time, but you can re-nominate them again a couple of years later. So the honours recognise people for their contribution to society. It can be in a number of different fields, in different ways. Everyone tends to think about the charitable stuff, but there's also scientists that get, damehoods, and there's people that get very big awards for the contribution to education and universities. You can basically do it for many different things, but the different levels recognise different levels of commitment and service, length of service, the area of service. There's so many different awards that form part of the honours system. So what was my MBE for? So the actual title was for services to young people with disabilities. which is a lovely thing to have, because a lot of my work is about young people. And as a young person, I should say young adult, because I'm 26 now, so I'm slightly out of the young person category, but as a young person at the time, a lot of my work is about supporting young people like me to live well, live fully, and have the support that we need. So that was a very fitting services to young people with disabilities cause for my MBE, and that was just a magical experience. So what happened on my investiture? So what is an investiture? So an investiture is a ceremony in which people are invested, so brought into the honours system or to the Order of the Empire or whatever honours they're receiving. So that day is a ceremony where you receive that award. What was my day like? So mine was done at Buckingham Palace. So we travelled up to Buckingham Palace for a morning ceremony, got all dressed up, did my makeup in the car. When we drove through the gates, because I've got a massive van with blacked out windows, people were taking pictures of the van thinking it was one of the royal family or a celebrity in it, which was quite funny, but no, it was just me. And we drove in, we went into the quadrangle, we got out, we hung around in the courtyard area. Luckily it was a warm day for a little while, then went into the building. I was then separated from my guests, so I had my mum and my grandma and one of my nurses with me. So they were taken to the ballroom where the investiture would take place, and I was taken into another area, like a little whistle-stop background tour of Buckingham Palace, to this other room where we were told how the service would work, what we were expected to do, how we should address Prince Charles, Your Royal Highness or Sir, and that kind of, we went through all of that, and then we were taken through into the ballroom in groups of about 10 or 12. So they took us through. I was in one of the second from the last category that went through, and so we'd walk through the back of the ballroom. We'd then walk into a room down the side of the ballroom, where we would then walk back into the ballroom at the front and receive our honour one at a time, going across. And I'll show you the video, which you'll be able to see. So I drove my wheelchair. Obviously, I had my legs down rather than up like I normally have them. I had my legs down and I drove in, waited by the guard. When they announced my name, I then drove forward, turned, bowed at Prince Charles, drove towards the dais or the stage, and then he would present me with my MBE. He actually stepped off the stage, so he'd be on my level. He put the MBE on a hook that had been, pre-put on my jacket for hanging on the medal. And then we talked for a little while, probably about a minute, 2 minutes. It felt like an eternity. And the loveliest thing was Prince Charles had obviously been prepped about what everyone had done. So he knew a little bit about my work. He asked me about my work. He told me that, what I'd done was fantastic and, very noteworthy, and that, I must keep that work up. He also complimented my wheelchair. His words were, "I see you've got the latest technology." And I think he might be thinking of one for family members, I don't know. But it was a lovely little comment that made me laugh. And then we shook hands. He told me to keep up the good work. I drove away from the stage backwards, so I reversed. I bowed, I turned and I drove out of the hall. They then put my MBE in a box and took the hook off, and then I went and sat at the back of the hall of the ballroom while the other people received their awards. And what a magical experience. It really was one of the most amazing days of my life. I still can't believe it happened. One of the things I did laugh about though was one of the ladies that went in the groups before me, when she curtsied, nearly fell over. And in that moment, I suddenly thought, I am so glad I do not have to curtsy. And then I realised that I could accidentally drive into the stage or knock him over. So I thought, well, I've got to make sure that I don't knock the joystick or drive forward too fast or anything, because that would just be it. Prince Charles gets run over by a wheelchair, that would just be all over the news. So I was quite glad that it all went without hitch. I didn't have to curtsy. Even when I was well and able, I probably couldn't have curtsied. So being in a wheelchair was a preferable situation. And it's just been a magical, magical experience. I can't believe that I received an MBE. I still see letters addressed to me saying, "Lucy, what's MBE?" and still can't believe it. I still think, oh, that's me. And I think the honours are a wonderful system. I know not everyone agrees with them, not everyone is a royalist, but they recognise people for your work. And the thing about the MBE, for me, it's not about the medal, it's not about the award, it's the fact that people have recognised what you've done. But it also gives you a reason to recognise yourself. And that is what's really powerful. It's lovely to be recognised by other people, but it gives you permission to be proud of yourself. And that's really important when you achieve so much work. And there are so many people I know that would be so worthy of an honour of some kind. I know a couple of friends who've received an MBE or a BEM, And that's wonderful, because it's wonderful that I know people are being recognised. So please, please, if you know someone worthy of an honour, nominate them. Go online and Google it and find out how you can nominate. Find people that can provide letters of support, and nominate the people you know. They might not receive an honour, that is true, but if they do, they will receive something fantastic that will give them a title. So I use post-nominal letters MBE or BEM or OBE or Dame in front of your name, but it's just that permission to be proud of yourself, and it recognises people for their contribution to our society, of which many people do many different things. I still do not know who nominated me. Like I said earlier, you're not allowed to tell the person you're nominating them, so they're not allowed to know. That must be kept confidential. But I know some people later, once they've received the award, tell them who nominated them. So the honour system don't tell you, that's kept confidential. But the person that nominated me might tell me that they've done it, but I still don't know who nominated me. And part of me thinks that's lovely, because I will never know who did it, and I will never have to kind of think that I have to be anything other than myself, because I think sometimes when you get nominated for an award, you feel like you have to be something big and grand to the person that nominated you, and actually it's like, just be yourself. I've been awarded this MBE because I am who I am, and I've done what I've done. I don't have to be anything special. I just am. I'm Lucy, and I've got an MBE, but I'm still the same person. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change my illness or change my work. So a lot of people will say that people like me, when we get awards or get more than one award, that we're just doing it for the awards. But the fact is, I couldn't care less for awards. They're the loveliest thing in the world to be recognised, and I don't dislike them or don't appreciate them. But the only recognition that I seek is that when I come to the end of my life, I know in my heart of hearts that I made a contribution. And an award cannot give me that, only the doing of the work. So for all the people that think that people like me are just in it for the awards, we're not. We're in it for the recognition within ourselves that we have made a contribution, and the doing of the work is what gives us that, not the award. So I hope this has been an interesting video and you've learned a little bit about investitures. I hope it's been useful and interesting. Please consider nominating people for honours if you know someone that is worthy of one, or you think is worthy of one. And please click the thumbs up below this video. Click subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to see more of my videos. Leave your comments in the comments below if you've got a particular question you want to ask me, or maybe you know someone who's received an MBE, an OBE or another award, or maybe you know someone who's worthy and you just want to ask me a bit of advice. Just put it in the comments or message me on social media or contact me through my website. And I hope today has been a good or an okay day for you. Thank you.